Okay, everybody, if you'll recall, we did not get our obstacles to move in the level. So when I hit play, there they are. But when I hit the play button, they rotate in their different sizes, but they're not moving. So we missed a page. So anyway, I'm going to go back. I'm actually on page 382 if you want to follow along. So there's the obstacle class. And we're going to go into the event graph of the obstacle class here. And over here in the My Blueprint, we're going to add some variables, some float variables. So if you'll click Add Variable and then type in speed min and make sure that's a float. And then add another one. You can probably guess speed. Whoops, not watching what I'm hitting. Speed max. And then let's add one more, another float variable, and let's call it current speed. Current speed. There we go. And then let's do a vector variable. So let's add another one. This is a vector variable, so it'll be a variable. We'll call it movement direction. And this one, instead of being a float, let's change it to a vector. There we go. So let's go ahead and compile so that we have access to the default values of all of these. And set speed minimum to 200. Set speed max to 500. And set the movement direction to -1 on the x-axis. -1 on the x-axis. There we go. And then on the event tick here, you can see we've got the event tick. If you drag off of the delta seconds pin there and place a float times float, now that has changed in Unreal 5. So if you just type in the word multiply, and use that, you used to be able to type in like float times float, but if you use a multiply, that's the kind of the new thing now. So this is a multiply, so it multiplies the pin A times pin B and outputs whatever the result is right there. So we have a float times a float, and we know that because it's those bright green ones. And then let's drag the current speed variable out from here and drop it on this second one right there. And then let's drag from the output pin here of the float times float and place a vector times float. So again, we're just going to do another multiply. And let's see, and we'll do another, in this one, so this one, you can see it's a float times a float. It's not a vector, because remember, vectors are yellow. So how do I get this to be a vector right here? If you just right click on that pin, it'll let you change it to vector. So I can just change it right there. And then let's see, let's click and drag from the event ticks executable right here and place an add actor world offset. So add actor world offset up there. Let me make sure we didn't miss anything. And oh, we did. So anyway, on this vector, we need to drop that movement direction on the vector right there. And guess where this one's going to go? Can you guess? Got a yellow, and there's a yellow there. So let's, boom, put that right there. So we're connecting those together. That looks good. Let's compile and file save all. All right, so we get that, and then go into the construction script. There it is. And click and drag off the set actor scale 3D node. And let's place a set current speed there. So set current speed. set current speed, and then place a random float in range underneath that. So just a random float in range. There it is. Random float in range. Underneath the set current speed there, which is what we just did, drag the speed min variable that we had over here, drop it on the min, drag the speed max, drop it right there, max pin, and then hook the return value here of this one up to there. I'm going to pull these back just a touch right there, and this is what it should look like then. If I pull this over just a little bit more, maybe you can see the whole thing right there. So anyway, so here we are in the construction script for our obstacle. Let's go ahead and compile and do a file save all. So we want them to have variation, the obstacles to have variety. So in our construction script is where we create the variety. So we did a set rotation rate here. And so the rotating movement script, and again, if I click on this, this comes from right here, this rotating movement component. We dragged it out, and that's the reference to it. And then over here is where the, if I click here, the rotating movement, that z-axis. So we're rotating on the z-axis 180 degrees per second. So if you want a full revolution, it would take 2 seconds to get a full 360-degree revolution. You can speed this up by increasing the number of degrees or slowing it down by decreasing the number of degrees that it rotates per second. And so anyway, so that's where that information comes from over here. And then the rotation rate is just a random rotator there, as well as to where as the option with the random rotation. So, and then we wanted to also get some randomness in the size of the obstacle. So we did a min scale of 70%. We did a max scale of 150%, 0.7, 1.5. Put them into a random float in range. So it's going to pick a value between 0.7 and 1.5, and that's going, whatever value that is, it's going to output it here. It's going to convert it into a vector and put that as the new scale for that particular object when it gets spawned, or that instance of the obstacle blueprint when it gets spawned. And then lastly, what is the speed? So we've set the rotation, we've got the scale, and now we want to set the speed of it. And so the speed min we said was 200, the max was 500. So random float and range, it's going to pick a number between 200 and 500, including 200 and 500. And then whatever value it picks, it's going to output it here, and it's going to input that to the current speed. And so the obstacle that is spawned, that obstacle instance that is spawned at that moment, will have the current speed of whatever that random number was picked. So that's how all of these work. So very good. And that was the thing that we missed in class. How do I know it works now? So if I come up here, now keep in mind the direction. I haven't checked the direction. We put what do we put? -1 in the, where was it? Anyway, in the obstacle event graph. So we put movement direction as -1 on the X. I haven't checked it to see which direction it's going to go. So when I hit play, hopefully they're going the right. They're going the wrong direction. So it depends. Do you want your guy down here, or do you want your spaceship up there? So we can put the obstacles. You know what? I'll put this guy a little further up top there, and they can come from the bottom, or you can do it the other way around. So, you know what? Obstacles normally come from the top and come down. So this guy looks like he's facing the wrong direction. So we could actually fix that. And so let's do that. Let's make a couple of these fixes real quick since I got you on the line. So anyway, so let's close this, and let's go back to Hero Spaceship and go into the event graph, set actor location. So I want to move him a little bit on the axis. So I don't even know what how much that is there that we would be moving him. So I don't know. Let's just like move him 200 and see what that does. So I'll move him. Let's see. Negative was down, so let's do positive on the x-axis. I don't know. How about like 200? The x-axis, compile it, and let's see where that starts. Oh, okay. So I could probably go. Oh, that's right. We wanted to pull him down, not up. So I'm going to go like negative 400 on that. So hero spaceship. So let's go like negative, how about 500? Negative 500, compile, back to the level, play. So yeah, he should be down here now. Okay, that works. Oh, I got hit. Yay, at least my fire works. All right, so uh, these things need to start a lot further up. Now remember, we're going to delete these, but just for testing purposes, let's pull those up further and hit play. Oh, I must have pulled them up quite a ways from the wrong direction. Yeah, maybe I put them in the wrong direction. All right, let's pull them back. There they are. Okay, and that looks good. So I've got enough player hits. He catches fire. All right, very good. I kind of like that. That looks good. In fact, they don't even have to be quite that far. Maybe right there. Yeah, that way they're spawning just off screen and then they come in. Okay, I'm good with those. What else do we say? So that looks good. So I moved the guy. Oh, we got to turn him around because he's facing the wrong direction. When we click here, it's like he's running away from them. Those are the exhaust pipes there. They need to be turned the other way. So let's do that. So let's flip him. That'd be 180 degrees on the Z axis, right? So 180 on the Z axis. So let's do that. Let's go into our hero spaceship. I see a new location, but I don't see a rotation. So maybe we could do it up here in the rotation. So I see where we have mesh component right there. So let's go into the rotation. We said 90 degrees on the Z. So I'm going to type in 90, or no, we said 180. 180 on the Z-axis right there. Remember, I have the mesh component selected in my components, which brings up my details for that particular component. And then I'm going to rotate them 180 there. And it doesn't look like I have to compile, so let's just go play and hit it. And good, now he's facing the correct direction, and boom. So, all right, hopefully that helps. And that gets us to the next stage. So thanks, and I'll talk to you later.